I got to say, New Amsterdam Radio is brought to you part by Anchor FM. Have you ever thought about making your own podcast? You see, when I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? And most importantly, I don't want to deal with cables and wires and all those things. You see, the answer to every single one of these questions is pretty simple. Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And you can use your phone, which is pretty awesome. Now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. So if you ever wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. This is New Amsterdam Radio, the podcast for creatives. Welcome, citizen. It's your friend, your pal, Flobo Boys here, back with another episode of the little podcast that could. I just want to say over the past couple weeks, I always thank you guys for listening, but the responses have been through the roof. A lot of people have come up and said they like the insight of going to different aspects of what creativity is, and I appreciate that. As we journey on to a brand new era of New Amsterdam, the new logo dropped this month. We have merchandise over at the Flobito shop at flobito.threadless.com. There is a New Amsterdam logo tee, which I am excited to get my own coming in the mail as we speak. And on today's episode, I decided to take a little bit of a left turn for me, but not for the mission. You see, I am sitting down with two very creative and fun people behind the Forever and a Day soap opera, but it's a soap, but it's for your ears. Audio dramas have evolved with the times from the days of radio all the way to more modern interpretation like Casey Whalen's We're Alive, but never have I heard a audio soap opera with the mechanics of the eras that have gone by mixed with the present. And the future, can I ask? Because, we're all going this whole podcast world or what have you. So I sat down with Candice, Mack, and Casey Hutchison from the Forever and the Day team. Very, very insightful chat about why they decided to go and bring soap operas to 2020 in the form of audio entertainment. So sit back and listen in. Welcome back to New Amsterdam Radio. Of course, I'm Flobo Boys, and this is the podcast for creatives. We sit down with people who are doing big things, who are achieving new things that are even bigger. Now, check this out. My mind was blown when I came across a soap for your ears. It's called Forever and the Day. We got the co-creators right here. I got to get after Candice, Mack, and Casey Hutchison. How you guys doing?
What's up?
Was that intro okay? Was that dramatic enough? I wasn't sure if I was hitting the target.
That was really dramatic. We needed the dramatic music of like the Young and the Restless to play back there with the Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, I am not well versed in the soap world, so please explain to me, as I'm completely ignorant of this. How would you? Let's say we're at a party where we're mixing drinks, having a good time. How would you pitch Forever and a Day for someone like that who may not even be aware of audio soaps, like to get to tune in? Like, what would be the elevator pitch?
Wow, great question. Well, I just have to go back to the reason why the show was created and picked up by JLJ Media. And that is that this October, the soap opera genre itself will be celebrating 90 years in broadcast across radio and television. It all started with Erna Phillips, who created the soaps during a depression for Chicago radio affiliates with Painted Dreams. And we're in a depression ourselves right now. With the pandemic, we're all just trying to survive as we try to pick ourselves up, and some of us return to work, and some of us try to go with this new normal. And so that's the thing. It takes the soap opera back to its roots. But aside from that, come on, we have so many delicious characters. We have political ambitions. We have media moguls. We have great sexual tension, which who doesn't love?
The best kind of tension.
Yeah.
Yes, the best kind. And, during the pandemic, aren't we all starved for it? So, there it is. I mean, it's just a crazy, insane ride. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I just call it. I just say, hey, if we're at a party. I'm like, hey, you like politics? You like sex? You like scandal? You like to listen to things? Check us out.
That's when you're selling like a product. Like, yo, right here, money. I got what you need in this pocket, right?
Yeah, it takes place in Augusta, Illinois. Yeah,
but at the same time, it has all these like sex and political ambitions and backstabbings and.
It does, yes. And I come from Springfield, Illinois. That's where I'm based. And, a writer once told me, if you're going to set something in a fictional town, always pick its state as a state you've lived in. And so I was like, okay.
That's true.
Was your friend Stephen King? Like, I don't know. All of this stuff was in Maine. And
also all my favorite soaps, have been set in Illinois. I mean, As the World Turns, Guiding Light. And so, I mean, come on. And it's Illinois, so much political corruption here. I mean, come on, just open our daily newspaper. So what's better than that?
Hey, same thing here in Maryland. Yeah, same thing here in Maryland.
States. I can't go visit Illinois or Maryland. That's terrible.
I mean, but hey, it's like when you open the door, there's always something like soap opera worthy happening in your area. Like where it could be a congressman doing something wrong or your next door neighbor cheating, and they cheated because you hear the fight outside, a la here.
Yeah. I wish you could be.
I used to live in a town where you had more cows than teeth. And so I've seen a lot of drama. And so I tell you, your life,
well, here's the thing. Your life is a soap opera. If you really think about it, your life is a soap opera. It may not be as scandalous as a soap opera character. Like you may not have returned back from the dead a few times. Because if you did, congratulations. I want to know how that happened. If you was able to return back from the dead, or you have a twin out there that but really is really you, but you've been programmed by like a device or something. But everybody has drama in their life. Whether it's relationships, careers, anything. It's you have a soap opera in your life. Your soap opera is a life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but things are nice and pure here in Los Angeles. So
really? I don't know
anything about scandal here in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Not a single thing? Wow.
No, not at all.
You guys are so lucky.
Yeah, we just get out, we go to Bible study.
Go to Bible.
Okay. Preach. Okay. Amen. Okay. Hallelujah. Drama.
Oh my God.
So I watched or listened to the first couple episodes of Forever Day. You're doing it twice a week, and I want to know why that was, because I know a lot of our listeners are dealing with their own ways of syndicating their content. How often is too often? How often is not often enough? You started on twice a week. How's it working out for you so far?
So my mother, and this is where the idea for 2 weeks came from. Twice a week came from, excuse me. My mother, back in the day, was a huge diehard General Hospital and Young and Restless fan. And when she was at school, she would watch the shows on a Monday to get the idea of what the week would be about. And then she would watch the show on a Friday to kind of fill in the gaps and get the big cliffhanger if she could not catch every single day. And so I thought about that. I'm like, that is such a great model. Monday, you get a little jump start to your week, and Friday, you start the weekend with a little bit of a pop. And so I was like, let's go with that. Let's rush with that. And we did, and it's worked out great. As the season progresses, there's just something every day to hang on to start your week or end your week. And that's a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. I know a lot of times it's trial and error or post and pray, but I've never heard a legacy reason before when it comes to releasing
Yeah, we're
content.
not going to be like a show that NBC once canceled, and so they're going to move it from like a Friday to a Sunday.
Right.
We love.
Wait a minute, that was shade. I'm just going to just
that was total shade. NBC, you on notice, man.
Love you, NBC.
No gets moved. You're in trouble.
Walk me through, and I guess you can go as deep as you want here, the writing process. Because you were saying that before we went live, that you guys had writer calls in the middle of the night, like in the death of night. How does that work? Idea to actual completion? Walk me through this, because this is all fascinating for me.
Candice, I'll let you take this one.
So basically, it's like we have an outline. Casey will come up with an outline, and then it's sort of, okay. Let me just backtrack. It's like planting flowers. Okay, you have to get the ingredients, so that means we have to get the characters that we want to be a part of the scene. And sometimes we will be like, no, this character should be in this one, and then we have the idea. But sometimes it's like that idea can trigger the whole show. So case in point, we have our lovely, lovely trio of Leslie, Alex, and Colin. And from that, there's so much storyline that we literally, I don't even sometimes know how we even do it, because like Casey says, it's like we're up 3 o'clock. Well, I should say this. Casey's in Central Time. So when he says 3 o'clock in the morning, you can take a guess of who is up at 3 o'clock in the morning while somebody's at 2 o'clock in the morning on their time.
I'm not guessing me, because I'm already in bed. I don't know who will be up.
What's that like? What's that like? Wait a minute. What's that like going to sleep early? What's that like? I forgot.
It's awesome. Try it out.
Okay. I don't know anymore. My whole life just changed. But no, we stimulate a lot of ideas from off of each other. It would be like one single word is like, scandal. Okay, so such and such. Like, what if we do this with this character? What if we don't do this with this character? We'll bounce off of, the ideas of each other, and then we literally create a whole scene, and that scene will carry to the next scene, and then next thing we know, it's 30 pages of dialogue. And it's just, it's one of those one of those moments where, just like I said, one word, 2 words, whole scene. Next thing you know, you have a tree. It's like, oh shoot, like this is really good. So
we just know that we have 20 actors who are waiting to get those 30 pages on a Sunday. On a Sunday is when we give new scripts out to our cast members.
Both shows on Sundays.
And so both shows. Okay. They get
both
Monday
shows,
and they get Fridays. And we know that we have to have them done, polished. And sure, there have been times the night before where Candice is like, let's take those 2 pages out and rework them. They don't make sense to us.
Yeah.
So once in a while, you get the crazy things. But
crazy, Candice, how dare you?
I know, right? Darn it.
I was a huge fan of Knots Landing, as Candice knows. Sometimes she catches me humming the theme song in our 3 o'clock in the morning meeting.
Lord, yes.
And what was interesting about Knots, though, is even though it was a spinoff of Dallas, it didn't just focus on one family. It was multi-generational. It was multi-faceted. You had the Fairgates, and you had the Ewings, and you had everybody. And I kind of build our show from that perspective, that you need to pick a focal point. So, okay, for Knots Landing, it was Val and Gary. For us, it's probably Leslie, Colin, and Alex. But everybody still has an important story to be told. You just need to pick a focal point. And so we go from the show's focal point, and then we break that down to episode focal points. So maybe Alex and Miranda will be the focal point of this episode, but Jonah and Stephanie will be the focal point of this episode. You just always have to pick a theme. Your episodes can never rotate. Yeah, no matter how large your cast is. And that goes for daytime as well. Days of Our Lives, 40 characters, it doesn't matter. Every episode has to have a theme, no matter how many episodes you put out in a year and no matter how many characters you have.
How does primetime soaps rank against daytime soaps? Is it the same thing as in day parts? You consider one more a different art form than the other? Like, what do you think?
In my opinion, they are the same. It's just about time. It's just about time to tell your story. Dallas told a great story back in its earlier years where Lucy was going to marry this guy who came out as gay. but only to like her. And so, you know, they told that in like a 6-episode arc, I think it was, as opposed to with daytime, they would have told that in 8 months. And so they are the same. It's just about timing is all. It's all about timing. You know, 22 episodes as opposed to 260. It's all about timing.
And it depends on too with the story focus, like you said, the story focus, because even though that was a C storyline, it wasn't like the main storyline. And sometimes I feel as though like primetime and soaps have kind of like daytime and soaps to me, like daytime can rotate story arcs with the characters. Primetime is already set on the primary characters that are going to be in it. Like, you know, 90210. Somehow, some way, Brenda's going to be a part of the storyline. Dylan was a part of the storyline. Right. Kelly was a part of the storyline. You know, Brandon was like, you know, hey, everybody, I got the cool sideburns. Like, hey, here I am. And, you know, that was your focus point.
And then you throw
Jason Priestley, I'm sorry.
Gabrielle Carteri's in there, and you have a show. I always thought the best, besides not
say that.
Besides Knots Landing, I always thought the best primetime soap that gave me a daytime soap feel was Desperate Housewives. And I always felt as though Mark Cherry, if he really wanted to, could have taken Desperate Housewives to daytime because it was very layered. And as the show went on, you know, they told stories about people who didn't even live on the street, which was so amazing. And so I always felt as though the best way to tell a primetime soap is ask yourself the question, could you take it to daytime? Because then I feel that you will get more diversity in your storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to throw this one, though. I'm going to say, you know, other than primetime, and this is up your alley, soaps are like wrestling.
Go on.
There's a story here. So I want to use that, you know, obviously with wrestling, there's storylines. Okay. Back in the day, it wasn't as big as it is now. If there's a female involved, you know, it's going to be either she's with this wrestler, but his opponent somehow in the main event towards the end, like the big build up, which is the Friday cliffhanger on a soap, like WrestleMania, you know, like, okay, perfect example. I will use this. Trish Stratus, you know, was with Chris Jericho. Okay. That was like, that was the moment. They was like, oh, you know, Canadian love. And then at the match at WrestleMania, American love, Canadian love, everything is love, love.
Same love. I don't know why it's different nationalities.
Yeah, I know, but no, if you remember, that's what somebody actually. I remember the sign. Somebody had a sign at WrestleMania, so that's why I was like, but no offense, love is love. So basically, you know, with Trish and, you know, it was Christian, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, they start like making out and stuff in front because she turned her back on Chris Jericho. That's the same thing on a soap opera, is that you have a character, you know, it could be a couple that have been ride or die for so many years. And then all of a sudden, one incident, like maybe the other spouse cheated and the spouse that currently was in the relationship found out. So to me, I feel as though that's more of like even level is wrestling in daytime. And you also tell the story, you know, you tell the story about, you know, Trish and why she did what she did, and Chris Jericho, how's he going to, you know, rebel and, you know, get her back, and Christian, how dare he could do that. Yeah, I know, it got dramatic there, but
broke his heart.
You know, so like that. Yeah, and that's what soaps and primetime. You have those characters that you're connected to. You're rooting for them, and then there's one thing that will mess up the whole chemistry. Well, you know, depending, and so you go through that. But with daytime, it's ongoing. Primetime, it's only a couple of months. Yeah. Yeah,
there's soap opera in everything. I mean, serialized storytelling is the focal point of broadcast, whether it's radio or television. I mean, you take, for example, Friends, which I adore Friends. That was a soapy sitcom. That was, you know, you had love triangles, you had We Were on a Break. Mm-hmm. And you look at The Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory, in my opinion, got very serialized, you know.
They did.
There is soap opera in everything. soap opera isn't everything because it's serialized storytelling.
I wanted some time to shout out some people of your creative team before we get out of here. If there's anyone else you want to mention by name, that like, put the work in, or on the squad, doing the thing, doing the work.
Oh, come on. I mean, 20 amazing cast members. How are we this blessed,
Amen.
Quinn Van Antwerp, who plays Colin, Kalia Davis, who plays Leslie, Tyler David, who plays Alex, Renee Saran, who plays Miranda,
Matthew Preston, who plays Jonah.
I mean, everybody.
Brandon Larkins.
Brandon Larkins. And, of course, the
Christina Sullivan.
Yes. When we were getting these people, everybody, all 20 cast members, it took a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails and a lot of time just to show them that we had their backs when it came to creativity and that we were going to give everybody a moment to shine. Because this is a medium. First, if you just strip away to the soap opera part of it, the only person who has ever done a soap opera is the amazing Beth Ehlers. And she's been fabulous to kind of, teach people certain components. And so we had to make sure to tell our cast, like, hey, we know you are a brilliant actor. We would not have gotten into contact with you if we did not believe that. And so we had to make sure that, they were okay with knowing that they could do a soap and then do it in a podcast format. And so after we, convinced everybody that they could really find the power inside of them, it was up to them to kind of fill in the creative blanks on how they wanted to portray these characters from our scripts. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you from that first day that everybody brought their A game, I mean that wholeheartedly. And now that we're 7 weeks ahead in our shooting schedule, everybody is just amazing. And they all fire on certain cylinders and they all really bring these characters to life. So please stay tuned because these actors are just some of the best in the business.
Yeah, we have, cool well, the thing is that we have, people like obviously from the soap industry, like Beth and Tom and John and Sally. And then we have those in the digital, because here's the thing, digital is where it's at too. I'm a huge, we're going through an evolution, obviously of media, radio, television, digital. Now we're going back to audio, which is, podcast. So we're lucky to have Jarrell Anthony, that, groundbreaking Pride the Series. Shout out to him. Brett Lawrence. We have Tony Moore. We've struck gold with our cast and crew.
And our amazing supervising producer, and
Carolina
Sivas, who is the creator of the amazing, and let me tell you, amazing. Please go check it out. Award-winning series, Broken at Love. It's such a heartfelt story, and she is the best, most heartfelt occasional script writer and supervising producer. She is just amazing. Oh, and she plays Lakin. So come on, like triple threat.
And Lucretia Lyon, we got to give out Lucretia Lyon, who plays Caitlin. She's amazing too. It's just, literally we could really, plug our cast because they put in the work. Every time we do a recording, of the episode, I always joke and I said I have like popcorn because it's so entertaining. And I always say, I wonder what's going to happen next. I need to talk to the writers about this because I have an idea. And it's like the ongoing joke. So, blessed. I just want to say, to our amazing cast, from the bottom of our heart, thank you times 20,000. And to, everybody that's been on this journey from the time me and Casey were born, which is our crazy family, especially my crazy family, and our friends and whatnot. Like that crazy. Yeah. But yeah, So
get your thank you speech in now, because you're doing a lot of them with Forever in a Day available wherever you stream your podcast. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, New Amsterdam Radio, the podcast for creatives. Can you guys do me a favor and tell me where the world can follow you, stalk you, become a friend of yours, fan of yours online?
Okay, so if you want to follow all the information of Forever in a Day, link us up, like us on Facebook, okay? Go to Forever in a Day podcast, like us, tell us what you think about the show, okay? Then head over to Twitter, right? Go to FAAD podcast, that's on Twitter. Find out all the latest dirt, okay? Then if you want more information, go on Instagram, same name as Twitter. Also, we also got short stories coming out from James Lye Jr. Yes. We're doing big things here. And you can follow us at faadseries.com for all information on our website, including episodes and including some bonus content that's really going to be amazing. Anything else I'm forgetting, Casey?
Yourself personally, I guess.
Yeah, yourself.
Oh, yeah. And you can follow me at Candy Poo on Twitter. You can also like me on Instagram at CandyMack82. And on Facebook, you can follow me at Candice Mack. Casey, back to you.
Well, you covered all ground with our amazing show, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't give out my Instagram name because I'm ancient when I use Instagram, and I never know how to use it. So you might as well just not bother. So my Facebook, Casey Hutchison, I'm there holding my fake Emmy replica. And on Twitter at Casey S. Hutch. You can also follow me and my co-host over on our little soap opera podcast, which is like The View for
I forgot soap opera.
At the chat_podcast. And please, I beg of you, listen to Forever and a Day, Mondays and Fridays, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. You can binge it because guess what? It's a podcast that's great, awesome. It's like your little version of CBS All Access with Y&R and B&B. So yeah, it's wonderful, but please listen.
Yeah.
What do you mean by being ancient on Instagram? Do you like not how to use it? Like, what does that even?
Oh my god, I am like, Lord, what I can equate it to is when my grandmother got her first DVR in 2010, and I had to keep referring to everything as, Grandma, do you want me to tape General Hospital for you? I could not say record. She would have lost it.
He doesn't know how to use it.
I'm like ancient. I'm like 112 when it comes to Instagram, but every other social media platform, I'm like fine.
Well, Snapchat must totally be. We'll totally
Lord, you know what my Snapchat password? Look, I'm telling you.
I don't have Snapchat, but see, the thing is like I love social media because I feel as though, especially now, everybody popped up on like Zoom and everything. So I feel as though social media is a great way to connect and find out what other people are really thinking and what they're really doing.
Yeah, if you haven't already, check out Forever in a Day wherever you stream your podcasts, or this one. I'm a Spotify guy. They're not paying me to say this. I'm just letting you know I made the decision years ago to go premium, and it was the best decision ever. All podcasts, it seems, are on that platform. Check it out. Forever in a Day airs Mondays and Fridays all over the interwebs. And if you want to hear more about what Candice and Casey are working on, make sure you check out the Patreon, patreon.com/FloboBoys, where if you subscribe and become a donor, become a patron, you get to have access to all of the interviews, unabridged, unedited, uncut, for all the guests here at New Amsterdam Radio. It's a good way to check out the show, see other questions I bug my guests with, and also to support the cause, because you are citizens in the city for creatives. Go out there, make things happen, let other people know what you're working on, and good ideas can spread. Good love can spread if you have that mentality, right? So make sure you check out newamsterdam.com. All the episodes are there for your listening pleasure. As for me, my name is Flobo Boys. You can follow me on Twitter at Flobo Boys, on Instagram at Flobito, and at Flobo Boys there as well, and flowbeato.com. I already mentioned the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Flobo Boys. I already mentioned the t-shirt shop, the merchandise stand, the lemonade stand at flowbeato.threadless.com. And if you guys want to see what I do in my more normal element, I launched a brand new wrestling review show. It covers WWE's NXT and NXT UK brand. It's called Draped in Gold. It's a brand new show. It's a baby of my digital offerings. So go out there and support that over on YouTube. Just typed in Draped in Gold, Flobo Boys, and it should come up. Until next time, until next week, as always, this city is yours.